If the dollar loses the world's trust, where will you put your wealth?
Now I understand why I'm getting eaten alive by inflation. Now I understand why I can't get ahead. Now I understand why the system's broken. Oh, and that's the bad news. The good news is, oh, look at this hopeful emerging solution. Look at this group of people that are supporting that solution. Look at this technology that can make things better. If we can, move towards sound money, all of our lives are going to get better. The world's going to be fairer. We're going to have less wars. I mean, there are incredible benefits above and beyond just number go up.
The world is changing faster than most people realize. Debt is exploding, trust in fiat currency is crumbling, globalization has failed America. The system that we have all come to depend on is now starting to crack. Today, we are breaking down Larry Lepard's urgent warning that markets are on the edge of collapse and that Bitcoin can be the lifeboat for those who see what's coming. The U.S. government's ballooning debt is now $35 trillion and counting. The interest payments alone are out of control, reaching a whopping $1 trillion annually and still growing. Governments will have to print more money just to pay the interest on the debt, and then lower interest rates to refinance old government debt. The result is that fiat currencies will debase heavily. That means more inflation and temporary economic stabilization. Larry is sounding the alarm louder than usual, and it's pretty convincing when you see how he ties it all together with debt and interest rates. Welcome to TSG Crypto. We cut through the noise and prepare you for your crypto journey. And if you are invested in crypto or thinking of investing in crypto, subscribe to the channel so we can help you navigate through your crypto journey. Now let's jump into the video.
So what do you think now that we're at the beginnings of what I think the cycle you predicted, the 10, 20, 30%, correction coming in the markets, what do you see the rest of the year looking like in terms of Bitcoin, in terms of the market in general?
Yeah, so I've always said, don't trust me for market predictions because nobody ever gets them right. I can't get them right. Anyone who tells you they can is lying. But a general trend I feel comfortable with. I think that the stock market has seen its peak. I feel extremely comfortable with that. I think that based on all of the free money that boosted the stock market and created the everything bubble, that there's a very high probability that at the end of this calendar year, the stock market is substantially lower than it is now. The stock market has been the economy. The top 10% account for 50% of the spending. The top 10% own 84% of the stocks. When you take 20 or 30% off the top 10%'s retirement portfolio, guess what? They stop spending money. Yeah. They don't take trips, they don't use hotels, they don't use airplanes, they don't buy cars. They just cut back because they don't have as much money to spend. And so that leads to a recession, which then becomes reflexive because, we buy less cars, then the factory worker who makes cars gets laid off. And so I think we're headed into a downturn. It's long overdue. It's going to be painful. I'm not happy about that, but it is what it is. And then if we look at historically, and again, the book lays this out, the Federal Reserve response to this is, at some point they've been fighting inflation. They have not solved it, but they're going to declare victory, even they don't really have it. And they're going to say, gosh, unemployment's really, the Somme rule has been violated. Unemployment's going up quickly. We need to address stimulus and get things going. And Trump is going to get his wish.
The Federal Reserve is trapped between a rock and a hard spot. If they raise rates, markets crash. If they lower rates, inflation explodes. And the economy is temporarily propped up. Larry predicts we will get stagflation, which occurs when there's low growth and high inflation in the economy. Larry compares it to the 1970s, but he warns it could be worse because debt levels are much higher now than they were back then. Most economists see no way out of this problem, but in crypto, we do, and it's Bitcoin. Historically, commodities go up in value during times of inflation, so gold will do well, but Bitcoin will do better. No one is coming to save us. No major politician nor political party is serious about fiscal reform. That means no political reform is coming. No government solution is coming. Market-driven solutions are all we have. Don't hope for a savior. Save yourself. This will be the greatest wealth transfer in history, and the people who see it early will survive and thrive, while the late adopters will suffer. Now let's get back to the video.
They're going to cut rates, and they're going to start slowly. When that's not enough, they're going to get more aggressive. When that's not enough, they're going to do QE. QE is printing money, and there's nothing that likes printing money more than Bitcoin, right? I mean, they do that. So I think we're still in a 4-year cycle, and I think 140 is the next stop.
Oh, I 100% agree. I just said that a little bit earlier, right around that same price target and number. And I think people underestimate the Fed's stated mandate is price stability in employment. Their third mandate that they don't talk about is that our job as the federal bank and central bank is to serve the other banks, the Wall Street banks that are member institutions of the Fed and this cabal. And so that's the third unstated mandate that they run on. And so when Jamie Dimon loses money, when equity portfolios are too deflationary, we have to reinflate. When your tire goes flat, you don't drive around on a flat tire. You put more air into it. And that's what liquidity does into the markets. So their primary thing is to reinflate.
That's an excellent point, Dante. I mean, the third mandate has always been healthy and continuously operating financial markets. And we know that when that is threatened, like in the March 2020 example, the 10-year went no bid. And they can't have that. In 2008, the banking system almost melted down and the ATMs weren't going to work. They couldn't have that.
Larry Lepard isn't just throwing out doomer predictions. He is making critical observations of the current financial landscapes. He ties everything back to government debt, interest rates, and monetary policy, which is hard to deny. He offers a clear solution to the government fiat currency inflation problem and offers a clear plan of action. You don't have to buy Bitcoin today, but you should start understanding it immediately, because when the crash comes, the decisions that you make today will matter tomorrow. If Larry Lepard's right, what's your plan? Buy Bitcoin, buy gold, or something else? What do you think? If this video was helpful, subscribe to the channel. And if you have anything to add to the conversation, comment down below.